My name is Yves Fournier. I'm a stunt person from the Fournier family. I'm 52 years old, sorry. My father started the stunt business in early '60. My father's name is Marcel, one of the Fournier member. He started the business with his three brothers. Like I said, in near 1960, something like that, in early '60s. Marcel, my father, Charles, Réal, that is still living in Vancouver, and my uncle, that I forget, because he's the last one that just did a few times. So we call him the exception of the family, because he thought that we were a little bit crazy doing all those stunts. After that, I have my aunt Celine.
So is your aunt Celine Marcel's sister?
Yes.
Okay.
So that generation, we are 4 generations at one time. So and at one time we were 35 Fournier on the same, let's say on the same set. So they called Marcel, said I need five girls, 2 guys, older, younger. So I said, okay, I got that in my family. You know.
So did all 35 of you work on the same movie?
Not on the same movie, but on the same, some documentary. We were 35, so we can count.
Oh, was that the documentary Stunt People?
Yes.
And so I saw a 3-minute version of that. There's a longer version, right?
Yes, there's a 50-something minute documentary. My grandfather has a junkyard, and they were playing with cars. So it started like that. They were playing with cars, and sometimes Gilles Cal came and saw that. I said, oh, wow, I want that crazy stuff in my film. So it started like that.
Who is the first guy to ask?
Gilles Cal.
Is that a director?
Yes, at that time. So he saw that and said, oh, I want that. And my father, wow.
Oh, was the film Reds?
Yes, in that kind of
I think I read that
time.
somewhere.
Okay, and at that time my father said, wow, getting paid doing those stuff that we were just playing in the yard, and now getting paid to do the same thing.
So how did Gilles Cal come in contact with your father or the junkyard?
Just because he was passing by.
Oh, he just happened to be driving by?
Yeah.
And did he see your father practicing?
Mm-hmm. Just having fun, and at that time it was a motorcycle on a 2x8 piece of wood, jumping over some cars, just with no attachment. So the board was moving like that. I said, oh, those guys are crazy. How can I can do a lot of stuff with that if I can use it, for my film. So.
What was your grandfather's name?
Conrad. Conrad
Fournier, yeah. And what did he have a name for the junkyard, the business?
Well, I don't remember.
What part of the city was that in?
In Drummondville.
Oh, okay. And so was Reds the first film?
I think so. That was the kind of bigger movie at that period of time.
And what year would that have been?
I don't remember. I think like I said, in the middle '70s, something like that.
Who worked on Reds?
Oh, the three men,
the three
Marcel,
brothers.
Yeah, 3 brothers, and 2 sisters of my father's. Celine.
So
and
Celine
at that time it was Muriel and also my other aunt. That they were kind of the middle of the.
Muriel and Celine.
Yes.
Oh, okay. And what kind of stunts did they do on Reds?
A lot of cars, rollovers, hitting. Some falls also, but most of that time it was cars. I started in 1970 because I was 9 years old. I was listening with my father on the set. I was following him, and he said, "If you want to follow me, you have to listen and be as much professional as you can." But at 9 years old, it was kind of hard to do, but I did. So I did a jump over a car. There was a race car turning around like this, and I had to jump over a car that was sitting in the ice, and I was 9. It was a supercharged motorcycle, not motorcycle, but a snowmobile at that time. So That was my first stunt that I did at 9.
So you jumped over a snowmobile?
With a snowmobile over a car.
Oh, you were on the snowmobile and
Yeah.
you jumped over the car. Wow. How big was the jump? How long? How
Well,
high?
it was maybe 30 some foot. It was not that long, but it was 9 years old. It's kind of I never used a motorcycle, a snowmobile that powerful. So, but I just do some tests and I jump it and it started like that.
Was that in Montreal?
It was on. It was in. Up north, I don't remember even that. I got 9
Like
years
in the
old.
Laurentians somewhere?
Something like that, yes.
Ah, was it for a show or for a
It was
movie?
for a film, for a movie.
Do you remember the name?
I think it was the $1 million puck, something like that.
Oh, okay. And then who were the next family members after you to start working?
Okay, I'm the second generation. I'm the third generation, and I got my sister. I got my sister Danielle, my brother Pierre. That he tried one shot in the movie business, but he didn't like it.
Your sister kept doing it? And who were some of the other 35 family members?
Oh, I got, like I said, my aunt. It started with the 5.
So there's, I guess basically it's the 5 brothers and sisters.
After that,
And then
it's
their
son,
children.
Son, and also.
So
son-in-law.
your cousins.
Yes, and my cousin. Yes, a few of my cousins did.
So let's throw out a few of those names.
We got Steve, Steve Yves Fournier. We got Patrick.
Is Gelé the married name?
Yes,
Who worked the most of the cousins?
cousin Patrick and Patrick and Steve.
Oh, okay.
Fournier, yes.
How many films do you think they worked on?
Not a lot of film. It was also a few shows, but maybe 9 or 10 production.
How many let's say through the 1970s? How many movies do you think there were that had stunts that the Fournier family worked on?
But maybe more than 35 production. But after that, it started to getting better, between 70 and 80 something.
Oh, okay. So about it's funny. 35 family members worked on about 35 projects. Was it more TV or more
At that
feature
time, it
films?
was more film. A film that has stunt. Between, like I said, from the beginning to 80 something, there was one Fournier working at least on each production.
So I guess you had other people on your team that were not Fourniers?
Yes, Serge Degnaud was
Okay.
a French guy that he was so crazy. My father, when my father wants some overreaction or whatever, he take that guy. He said, okay, I want a 50 feet jump. He did 60, 70 all the time. At that time, it was cars, fighting, high fall, and fire scene. When the producer called my father, he said, okay, I need a fire truck, I need 2 motorcycles, I need some clothing for 200 policemen or whatever. We had all this stuff.
Oh, and the clothing too.
Yes.
Where did you get the clothing?
Buy at the auction and have the house of my father's house was full of clothing. My aunt Muriel, full of clothing of all kind of.
So you were kind of the stunt department, the wardrobe department, the props department,
Yes, at that
and the car department.
Yes, and
Vehicles.
At that time we one call and you can have all those extra also.
Oh, you provided extras as
Yes,
well.
my
Wow.
aunt Muriel at that time she was booking the extra for that film. So
And did you have a place where you practiced to practice your high falls and things like that?
well, yes, but at that time it was in the yard of my father's garage, and we have a field and we can practice over there.
The grandfather was in Drummondville.
And then we go back into Longueuil after
Into
that. L'émission géniale. Okay, what kind of stuff we use for a Human Torch? We can use a lot of stuff, but what we use, I can show that. And
Oh, great. Let's take a look. So a human torch is what they called a full burn, according to Dave Rigby.
well, it's only a back. Just because I did something that we're not supposed to do. It's to back.
Back up into it. Yeah, like that.
Well, because it'll bring it.
Oh, yeah.
I want to, because it was.
Keep talking.
Okay, but I try to do everything that you're not supposed to do. And like you can see, also it's for a TV show, it's just to tell them how come those stuntmen they don't get burned.
Oh, sort of like one of those science shows.
Yes,
answering the question.
it is a science show. So
What was the name of the show?
Génial. It's still.
Oh, you could see it on the board there.
Yeah, it's still on the show each week.
Oh, it still airs now?
Yeah.
And what year was that one?
Last year.
Oh, this is Yves, early 1980s. This one was on gas?
That's on gas.
So that's the cable off where the cable broke and you really got clothesline and the hose knocked you back? Mm-hmm. And how about this one?
This is for also for a documentary from the family Fournier stuntman.
Are you in the white car?
Yes, hitting
For the resume? And for practice?
To do some.
And more motorcycle stuff?
That's also from gas.
January 96. There's an article in this Lundi. Here's the article about Yves Fournier. And can you tell me who's who in this picture?
My uncle Charlie.
Right here?
In the middle here.
Okay.
The brother-in-law.
So this is Muriel, who is
Yes.
Marcel's sister.
That's Serge Degnaud, the French guy that I was telling that he's a record man.
Up here with the white t-shirt?
With the, yes.
And the big hair? Okay.
Yes, with the big hair.
So he's the one on the team, but not a Fournier
He's not a
family
Fournier,
member.
but we like him like a family member.
Okay.
Okay, that's me.
Up here?
With the mustache, yep.
Your daughter with the big earrings?
No, just in between. Small here.
Up there. Oh, and she's
Yes.
very young there.
Yep.
Okay.
And then my father, just after that, Marcel.
Behind your daughter?
Yes.
So that's Marcel right there?
Yes, it's hard to
Okay.
see. So that's Gilles Lafleur, one of our member of the crew also.
Gilles Lafleur, okay.
Yes. At that time was my wife.
Okay, and she's not your wife anymore?
She's the parent of my children now.
Okay.
Okay. My mother,
Okay, where's the mother?
just
Oh, right here with the necklace on?
yeah. My grandmother
Okay.
with the glasses in between.
So that's Conrad's wife?
Wife,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, Celine, that got Dave McKeown started.
In the bottom here, it's Lois Siegel.
She's the one that did the Stunt People movie.
Exactly.
She's the director.
Exactly.
It was a film project for her, wasn't it?
Yes.
For school?
Yes. My aunt Huguette
Is that Marcel's sister also?
Yes.
Okay.
and my other daughter.
So you have two daughters?
two
There's Eve, younger yet.
Okay, this is my father doing his first Human Torch. Okay, it was a full body.
Wow.
With stunt gel at that time was kind of,
And that's your father on the right?
yeah.
Marcel.
He's the
Great. And Rigby's over here.
very old. It's
Cinema Canada. I think I remember that.
That's my stunt show that I'm doing from city to city. Like Toronto Festival, tour on Canadian tour till the mid of Canada, 2005-6. I also went to Arabia,
Saudi Arabia?
not with paper. They shake hand. If they like your show, they pay you. If they don't like,
Oh, that's...
sue them. From Montreal to there, try to find a good lawyer to help you on that.
Did they pay you?
Yeah,
Oh, so they liked it.
they liked it.
And did your father do live shows also in the 70s?
Not really. He was always in the business with movie, also some TV, few TV show, but a lot of commercial too.
Oh, so is this the first live show?
No, that's my show. Because
Had any of the Fourniers done a live show before this?
not really.
Oh, so this is it. And what did you call the show?
The Stunt Spectacular.
Stunt Spectacular. And so what did you do in the show?
It's my passion. So I transmit the passion. So it's a movie scene that we are in, and the spectator are the behind the scene. So they're looking a scene of a stunt. And we are explaining the stunt, why the mat is there, why the car is doing this, how we shoot. We explain.
Explain how you do this
Yes,
stuff.
we
How long is the show?
20 minutes. We follow a big festival. My show is, you cannot just do a 20-minute show in a city, so you have to be part of something.
Were the rides, with this amusement park, were the rides portable? They brought the
Yes,
rides with them each
exactly.
place. Oh, so they set up in a parking lot or somewhere where there's a lot of
Exactly.
land.
But their show, it was taking them maybe an hour or two just to raise their thing. But me, it was 8 to 12 hours each place that we have to go just to build up the stage. High fall, driving, two-wheel. This car you can do it because it's hydraulic. Hiring at that time, it was not a member of my family. I just hired some athlete because there was some fighting, special fighting.
Were they sort of new to you or old-time friends?
The tour, it was new.
Who are these guys here?
This is, they were part of my team at that time.
What's their names?
Martin Lacoste here and Johan here. There was two ninja, but it was ninja against policemen. There was a villa, so there was a story. And but at the end of the show, we're explaining them all we did. Because we were talking about safety when we shoot. Never shoot in front of people. So kids, they know now. Okay, if I play, I don't shoot in case that they have fake gun or pellets. So we were talking about safety and parents like that. 20 minutes for the show and 30 minutes after show.
Oh,
So
great.
it was.
So what is that?
That's the first logo of the Fournier family. We called at that time Fournier Frères. It was brother and. Okay, but now it's more family. But at that time it was more than 40 years.
Hi, so it's Dave Rigby, 35 years in the stunt business in Montreal. I was born in England, lived in Montreal since I was 3 years old.
And here we are present day. Dave's 69 and he did a stair fall on Pompeii this summer.
Yes, only a few months ago. He was a butcher in the army, fed the troops, and he was a butcher when he came here. I have two brothers, both younger than myself. One is a thoroughbred trainer at Woodbine in Toronto, and the other one is an artist.
So what's your family think of you, or when you started stunts, what did they think? When you started crashing cars and things?
They thought I was crazy, and I was, because I was actually running away from a lot of responsibility, if you want to know the truth. And then eventually all these dysfunctional little problems I had turned into a profession.
Did you have a tough childhood?
Well, my dad was a pretty well-known alcoholic. My mom was really, really sick because she had been tossed by a bull, and she had to have a metal plate put in her head, and it was Dr. Penfield.
How did she get tossed by a bull?
Just walking near a bull, and it got her with the horn in the head, and
What was she doing walking near a bull?
Well, I have no idea, honestly, but I guess she, at some point in her life, lived on a farm.
Oh, okay. And that was probably in England?
Yeah, yes.
And that's when she was young?
Yeah, so over the years, scar tissue grows on the plate and causes a lot of mental destruction, mental dysfunction, and she became a little bit of a hoarder. She always needed to sleep, and anyways, my parents were forever, ever arguing. So being a young 6-7-year-old kid, the fear of being abandoned and the fear of not being loved stays with you. Not just me, but anybody there's many people like that in the world. And so when I first started working and finished high school, I actually programmed computers in big textile mills.
So you must have been one of the first programmers.
Yes, exactly.
What year would that have been?
That would have been 68.
So you must have been using those punch cards where you
That's right,
block it off with
80
pencil?
column cards, then we went to the 96 column cards.
At a high
I went
school
to school
course?
at night after high school. I did that maybe 10 years in textiles. Production control, inventory control, knitting control, dye control, piecework payroll, and time study. But I hated that job.
And what did you do after that job?
I ended up in film. Well, I ended up on the road on racetracks doing exhibition shows.
So that was your first taste of stunt work, was the exhibition live
I worked
shows?
with a fellow called Ken Carter for the first couple of years. That was again in the 60s, because I'd take the summers off and go and travel, and then to take a break from the apprentice engineering work. And then at one point he fired me.
What was the name of the show that you started with Ken Carter? Did it have a name?
He was called the Mad Canadian.
Oh, I saw that in the articles.
Yeah.
And how many of you were there in the show?
Well, periodically, most of the time there was only 3 of us who traveled on the road. Him, Ken, the jumper, Bobby Henry, and I handled his jet car.
And so what locations did you travel to in those years?
All the way from California to Windsor, Ontario.
Wow. What was the first year?
I think it was around when Armstrong landed on the moon, because I remember being in a motel.
1968, I think.
Yeah, I
68 or
remember being in a
69.
motel here in Three Rivers at a show when that happened. I remember it specifically being in the room, laying on the bed, and he had landed on the moon. So that's how I relate to the time frame. It was only 2 months at a time in the summer. We did 2 a week. I did the T-bone crash at the show. And then when he got the jet dragster and promoted his big jump over the river in Morrisburg, we used the jet to promote the rocket jump.
And was it, who did the jump?
Kenny Powers.
Kenny Powers. But it was Ken Carter that you did the show with.
Yeah, well.
And you had told me a bit about that
Yeah.
background.
I was with Ken about 4 or 5 years.
Till the early 70s, 72, 73.
So we'll go back to in the restaurant. He hands us, me and Bobby Henry, 2 airline tickets to go back to Montreal, because he thought we were ripping him off because I was handling his finances. I pulled out of my pocket $600 that was in a separate package, and he says to me, "What's that?" I says, "Ken, this is your money. The money that we spent on our white pants and white shirts and uniforms is our pay money, which I'm sure you thought we were blowing all your money, but no, this is your money right here." And he looked very shocked, but at this time he couldn't change his mind. And he knew that he was wrong. So out of revenge or resentment, whatever, I went back to Montreal, and a year later I had my own show.
What did you call that?
The Masters of Disaster. And I got that from the movie Rocky, the first one, when he introduced the 2 fighters. And I had very sophisticated equipment compared to his then. And you know, I had equipment that looked, because I traveled with, I did all the big shows at the drag strips with the wheel standers and the jet cars and the funny cars. So I had to look more of a showmanship thing. So I had the old Chevy 2-door crew. So I had really sharp, you know, looking equipment, and my ramp was all custom made hydraulics in it, and it lowered and uppered, and on the back of it I had the X-Wing fighter jet dragster that I actually bought from Ken Carter, and I rebuilt it into the X-Wing fighter. It looked like the X-Wing fighter on.
And was that your full-time job at the time?
Yeah, that's all I did then. I just did shows.
And did you do it year-round?
Yes. Started in January in Daytona at the promoter's workshop, where all racetrack owners and promoters gathered like a convention, and we all bought space in the convention hall and set up our booths and our pictures of our shows, and we basically booked our whole season from there. 1 a week.
Wow.
Because it was difficult for
So
us.
50 a year.
Yeah, but I didn't do that many because we got rained out many times.
Oh, okay.
And so that don't cut it. I would work Florida, Alabama, South Carolina, Mississippi, North Carolina, New York, New Jersey, Washington. Then I take the ferry from Portland, Maine, over to Nova Scotia. I would do 4 or 5 tracks in Nova Scotia, 1 in PEI.
And as far up as Ontario?
Detroit, Windsor. I usually take off and wait till January again, till after Christmas, to go back to Daytona. A hotel in Daytona sponsored me called the King's Inn, right on the ocean. So I had 3 months of free room and board there. That was great. The sponsorship was great. Plus Hawaiian Tropic sponsored me, and Quaker State Oil. They just gave me they gave me 50 cases of oil a year. Hawaiian Tropic gave me $500 every time they saw their name on my equipment in a newspaper.
Oh, great.
And the first week after the contract was signed, they appeared in the centerfold in the National Enquirer.
Great.
I was jumping over Bill Haley's Comets, the actual original band that's in South Carolina, and Hawaiian Tropic was right there, and they couldn't believe that.
Was Bill Haley and the Comets playing when you jumped over them? Oh, that's great.
And I was on this flatbed truck with them, because we jumped over a flatbed because we needed the band on the flatbed. And here I owned the show. It was one of my jumpers that were jumping, and I was the only one that ducked.
What was the name of the other people working with you?
Bob Henry was
Who had worked with you with Ken Carter? Yeah. It was just the two of you?
Yeah.
And did Bob Henry continue in stunts?
No, he his interest was in women. And when we finished our last show, he went back to Florida.
How many years was that, the shows?
Probably 7 or 8.
Oh, so you did a lot.
Before I got into a film. 78, 79.
And what was your first film?
Gas.
And that's where you also, the first time you worked with the Fournier family.
That's right.
And how were you contacted for Gas? How did that all come about?
That was a big, just being in the right place at the right time. My ramp was quite a big ramp that I used for my jumps and for my show. And I needed a piece of it repaired in a welding shop. So I was in this welding shop in Ville-Salle in Montreal on Newman. And they were building a lot of cars in there, including that yellow station wagon, which at the time I had no clue what they were. I wasn't even paying attention. But some American guy come up to me and says, "Could you tell me what this is?" And I said, it's a ramp, which when it's all set up, when I hit all these buttons and it goes up, it's 32 feet long, and I can jump over like 2 tractor trailers. And he looked at me and he said, "You're kidding." He said, "Can you jump over a car carrier with this?" I said, "2 of them if you want." So right away then, he told me who he was. It was Jim Arnett from LA, and he was the American stunt coordinator for Gas. I didn't know a damn thing about movies then. I didn't know what a lens was. I didn't know anything at all. But what I did find out on that, first when we performed the jump.
Did James Arnett find you first or the Fourniers first?
All at the same time. Because James Arnett found me in the garage. He hired me just to do the jump. And on the show is when I met the Fourniers.
What was he doing in the garage?
He was supervising the building of the stunt cars.
Oh, and
for the car chase in the film, and I just happened to be in the same garage getting my piece of equipment welded. It was just coincidence.
Oh, I see. Wow, complete coincidence.
So when I did the jump over the car carrier, and I had to put a mark on if you noticed, you saw the film, the footage, we landed on cat cars, which we do at racetracks. But I knew we couldn't just line up 4 cars in an intersection. It doesn't look real. It's not natural to, like I do at a racetrack. So right away, that's where my creativity came into play, and I knew I was destined to do movies. I said, okay, this is what we're going to do. So we did the jump over the car carrier, and they were so damn impressed with that.
That was the white car, the big jump?
Yeah, that was a Ford Thunderbird.
Landing in the catch cars.
And the catch cars were actually running cars, but I couldn't line those catch cars up like I do on a racetrack. So I had to, because it was a film, I had to make it look like natural. So I came up with this idea to have some guy at the red light in the electric boxes in those days, open it up and a few sparks go off, and I had all the lights turn green. And I had 4 ND cars have like a small bumper collision at the intersection where they were all in one spot, kind of. And now I couldn't leave the drivers in the car, so they all had to get out and scratch their heads like, what the hell just happened here? And then they turned around and this Thunderbird is coming over, and it landed right in the middle of them, where exactly I told the cameraman it would. That's Perfect. What impressed them the most.
So let's go through quickly what were the other stunts you did in the show.
Well, we shot that. I drove on that car on that film 26 days. the car chase involved, I think, 8 or 9 vehicles. I drove the yellow station wagon.
What kind of car was that?
That was a Ford.
Do you know what year?
It was a new one because it was a 1980, 81
Oh, it's a
Ford.
great looking wagon.
It was a radio car. Like the Susan Anspach, the actress who was a radio reporter, was involved in finding out who these Italians were, whatever they were. I can't remember the scenario of the film. But they were covering up oil gas deal with a funeral parlor. So
I think it had something to do with the gas shortage in the
Yeah,
late
exactly.
70s.
and their front was a funeral parlor. So
So you did all the driving in the yellow wagon?
yeah,
Oh
over
yeah,
the
that was
fire
great
truck.
stuff.
Actually, Yves, who was just sitting here before, was one of the firemen on this fire truck, standing on the side, and like I missed him by a foot. The car came right over the fire truck, and he was still there. He was ducking. I have a picture of that somewhere.
So were you in any other cars besides the white car and the yellow car?
Limousine off the top of Hotel LaVille.
What kind of limousine? Black?
A black limousine, and the chauffeur was standing up there out of frame, and
The real chauffeur?
yes, and he asked James Arnett, the coroner, he says to me, "How can I get this thing to get higher in the air?" And I said to him, "Jack it up, get the tires off the ground about 1/2 inch, and block up the tables with 2x4s under the car, and now your front end will be solid, and instead of having the opposite reaction going up and down vertically on the car, it's going to go horizontally on the car, and it's going to have the car go out further." And it did. And it did not hit the hill on going down. It kind of halfway hit the hill and halfway where it started to go flat, and every wheel on the limousine broke. The car basically bent in half, and the chauffeur who saw it took off his hat and threw it around with it, and Roger Heroux, the producer, had to buy them. He had to actually buy 2 limousines on that show because we wrecked them.
Well, that's the fun, wrecking things.
And then
So
there was
maybe
the flower car. The flower car, I was driving the El Camino off the same hill, and a funny thing happened on that one too. The flowers all came off the dam back at the El Camino. But we had filmed more of the chase that happened after that time in continuity, so we were shooting out of continuity. So how do we get the flowers back on the car? Like, we just can't put them back on. The whole audience see them fall off. So we made a facade of a flower shop, and I drove straight through the flower shop and came out with the car dressed again.
was Marcel Fournier in the flower shop?
Nobody was in the flower shop,
okay.
but he was in the movie. And I did the tow truck over the train. Actually, 2 of us did that.
You did one take, someone else did another take, you mean?
The first week I did it, and I was chasing the train. I was running parallel to the train, and when it got to the intersection where I had to go through it, I had to turn and go through the flatbed car where it was loaded with cardboard boxes. You can get through the train. Now this was a bad thing here, because I remember distinctly telling the stunt coordinator that there's just too many boxes on this train. Why do we have to have an extra 40 boxes in the middle that we don't see, and just put them on the outside so it makes it easier for me to go through? I said, I ain't gonna get through these, I ain't gonna get hurt, but the actual tow truck is gonna stay on this flat car a second or 2 more, because it's going to be trying to get forward through these boxes, and we don't need that many boxes on there. And he didn't listen to me. So here we go. I hit the boxes. As I said, it carried me an extra maybe 15 feet, and when I came out, I hit a hydro pole, and the big electrical transformers on the top started all shaking, and I swear to God, everybody thought they were going to come down on top of me and the tow truck.
Do you see that in the film? Was the shot wide enough?
No, because we had to retake it. Only on the 6 o'clock news we saw that. Which CTV still has somewhere in their archives, I'm sure.
And then maybe go quickly through the stunts the Fourniers did on gas.
They did a lot. We did a lot of rollovers. We did a lot of
Was basically the rest of the stuff the Fourniers?
yeah.
And did Marcel do most of the driving? Or was it a lot of
No,
people?
every day we drove. So there was like every day everybody was driving.
So what were some of the highlights of the rest of the film, and who was it?
Well, here's another good incident.
Like the motorcycle stunt was,
that was
Yves.
Yves, who was just to get jerked off the bike. But in those days, all the technical support that we have today and knowledge, we didn't have back then.
And Reds was before gas, correct?
Yes, I had nothing to do with that.
And what came after gas?
Comics with Dan Aykroyd and Howie Mandel again. I had a role in that film. I wasn't driving. I actually was, but I was a lawyer. And these guys, Howie Mellon, Dan Aykroyd, I don't know, they were...
Anything else in the 70s?
No.
So what about early 80s? Maybe just quickly name...
Ever since the 80s, that's it. I never stopped. I never went back to an engineering job or doing a time study on anybody in my life again since then.
So best your recollection...
The next big show I did was Strange Brew.
All right, so maybe quickly name the shows you can remember from like 1980 to 1985 that you worked on.
Okay, we can start with Gas, Comics, Strange Brew, The Class of '84, Martin's Day, Police Academy 2, Police Academy 3.
Who was the first Montrealer?
Jean Frenette.
Oh, even before Jerome?
Oh no, Jerome was already here.
When did you and Jerome become partners?
On Gas, or just after Gas.
And did Jerome work on gas too?
Yes.
What were some of his stunts on gas?
He was just driving like the rest of us. Or no, he was actually, one that I recall is he was crossing the street with a popcorn machine, kind of like on wheels, and the car hits it, and he did do a hell of a performance on Strange Brew.
The van jumping into the lake.
Yes. Every show that came up on the shooting list, we went in together.
How long was it between working with, first meeting Jerome and working with him, and first meeting Jean Frenette and working with him?
Probably 2 years. I left Jerome because at that time he was a little bit, he wasn't a good partner.
After Jean, who were the next few guys you worked with?
Mike Shearer.
Hired
Jean
first
Frenette,
guys?
I hired him to fight with the Asian guy in Police Academy 3.
Was that his first job?
Yes, but at that time Jean Frenette had just won the world class karate championship. There was John Walsh, there was Stéphane Lefebvre, Marc Desordes. Stéphane Lefebvre that was on National Park. He had to fall out of a tree. I believe, no, that was Princess in Exile. It was a story about kids with cancer, and one of the kids wanted to become like a daredevil, and because he thought he was dying, so he was doing all these dangerous things, and he just fell out of a tree about 20 feet high.
How about Marc Desordes?
The first job he got was chasing ducks in a pond. Mike Shearer, he drove a 5-ton dump truck in a construction area on that movie National Park. Actually, all of them were on National Park. That Stéphane and Mark. I was coordinating a movie called In Like Flynn. Not In Like Flint, In Like Flynn. And it was about a bunch of U.S. soldiers who ran and went to an isolated island, and we shot that in Jamaica. And
Oh, so you got to bring John to Jamaica?
yeah, but I didn't know that. I was just, Don Comedy was producing that one at the time, and Irene Ratinsky. And I was at the front desk with the receptionist, I don't know, I forget what I was doing, but I was asking questions, and John and his wife come in, and I overheard him saying that he wanted to give his resume to the stunt coordinator, and he was a specialist in underwater diving and underwater welding.
And this was in Montreal before the film went south?
Yeah. We shot a lot of it in the Mount Royal Hotel, the old Mount Royal Hotel that's not there anymore. And I remember particularly we needed one of our actors in Jamaica to take one of those giant lights that are normally around swimming pools, and his girlfriend throws it at him and he puts it over his head and it saves his life. But obviously we had to make one, a special one, that could hold air and release air and keep the guy safe. And
so that was John doubling him.
So I hired John to do that.
Oh, great.
And the next week later, or 2 weeks later, he was in Jamaica. John had done a jump for me after I had met him at Englishtown, but not before. Englishtown, New Jersey, which is in New Jersey, had the biggest thrill show every year called Crazy Eddie's Night of Thrills. It was packed like with 20, 30,000 spectators. And I drew at least 5,000 or 6,000 spectators just for the jump. And they figured that out because I always went on last because I made such a mess at a racetrack. And that's like 11 o'clock at night, and there was still like 4,000 or 5,000 people left in the bleachers. So the promoter, Vinnie Knapp at Englishtown, begged me to come back to do my last show there. And I said, I don't even have my ramp anymore. I sold it. I said, I can't do the show. He said, please, David, the bastards of the dastard, they want you here. He said, I'll build you a ramp. And I gave him the measurements of the ramp, which I needed over the phone, and he built it, the whole damn thing, out of 4x4 wood, supplied to him by 84 lumber.
And did he build it properly?
No, when I got there, it was 3 feet short. But they soon got the rest of the 3 feet on. They just made a section, because it was 3 feet, not short, but 3 feet too not high enough. And that was it. That's where John Walsh jumped.
And he did the jump?
Yes.
So that's pretty exciting. How big was the jump?
22, 23 cars.
Wow.
And I think we did it with a Dukes of Hazzard Charger car.
So John must have been mid-20s then?
Maybe 25, 26.
Yeah. Which films did you work on with the Fourniers? And which Fourniers?
Well, the first one was Gas, and that was with all of them.
So how many do you think there were on Gas?
The whole family. Six, seven of them. I had just met these guys and girls then, so I had no clue. Remember, that was my first film. I was green as an onion.
And then after that, the next film you worked on with them was Comics? Why don't you tell me about the stunt team in Toronto? How'd that all come about?
So what happened is, I think Peter Cox, I think some of us know, was working in Toronto, and he was working on Strange Bird, and as a performer.
You were the stunt coordinator on Strange Bird?
Yes, but not when I got the job to do the jump in the river.
Well, you became the coordinator partway through the film?
Yes.
Who was the coordinator when you did the jump?
Oh, I was. They made sure I was, because they didn't want it. They were so afraid that the first AD actually announced before. He didn't even call action. I did. He said, "Okay, everybody. This is David Rigby's responsibility, his stunt."
But did you say there was another stunt coordinator on Strange Bird?
I think there was, but I think it was Peter, but I'm not sure.
But you ended up being the guy?
Yeah.
Oh, so anyway, back to stunt team.
The stunt team? You mean Marco and Ted?
Yeah, Marco.
That came later.
Oh, so we have more to say before we get to that?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
But what established me as in Toronto, and why I got to go to Toronto so many times, is because the big car stunts, nobody was knowledgeable about how to do them. They all had the courage, but they didn't have the specifics and the technical information to be able to tell the camera department or the DOP how far, how fast, where the car's going to land, how high it's going to go, and where it's going to go. Because in the past, they did it by the seat of their pants, and they'd always lose the shot because the car would go out of frame, and obviously it's a lot of money. But I was able to set up the cameras for the guys and say, this is exactly where it's going to go because of all the experience and trial and error I had on racetracks. So I ended up getting the reputation in Toronto as the guy to call when we got a big car stunt. So Strange Brew was the first one, the 130-foot jump out into Lake Ontario, that set it up. Then it was, I think, the class of 1984, where a stunt performer that changed his mind about doing it, and Terry Leonard was the coordinator, and the Canadian match said, well, you can't bring an American, you got to bring in this guy Rigby.
Who was the Canadian match?
Bobby Hanna.
Okay. And I'm assuming that was in 1984?
Yeah, the corner of Elm and Yonge in Toronto. So
Bobby Hanna and Dwayne McLean were two of the first guys in Toronto.
yeah. So I pulled that one off and saved the day for them. So now they didn't trust anybody else because nobody had pipe ramps there. Nobody. It was just like nobody had done that kind of stuff. Next thing was the dead zone. Christopher Walker went into that coma for 5 years, and I pipe ramped a Volkswagen into a tractor trailer.
The coma was his character?
No, yes, he went into a coma for 5 years. The accident that I performed was the cause of his coma.
Right at the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah. And a lot of people didn't believe I did that because they also see me driving the tractor trailer. But we actually shot that 30 days apart.
And was the stunt you went into a big tanker and it blew up?
Yeah, no, a milk.
Oh, a milk truck.
Yeah.
Did it blow up?
Yeah, but the milk kind of didn't work as well as they thought it would. But I got onto the pipe ramp that was hidden inside the trailer and flipped the Volkswagen over, and it worked for the shot for him to be in that coma.
And then did you go into the back of a milk truck, into those kind of like a big, almost looks like a gas truck where it carries fuel?
Yes. That was the one on Dead Zone, yes.
And then all the milk flies out too as you
Yes,
hit?
but there was 500 gallons of milk in plastic containers wrapped in primer cord, but the milk blew out in the wrong direction.
Oh, so it really was milk?
Yeah, well, it was either that or what, I can't remember if it was real milk, but it was certainly looked like milk, or it was supposed to be milk. And the direction went downwards instead of upwards. Peter Cox, Dwayne, Bobby Hanna, Shane Cardwell.
Stunt Co. started by then, Dwayne's team?
Oh yeah.
So that started early 80s?
Yeah, that team was still existing. Bronco was just a kid.
And how about Toronto? Would Alison Reed be one of the first?
And
Shelley Cook?
No, not Shelley Cook. I don't even know if I knew her then, or if I did, she was a kid. There was Ted Hanlon, Marco Bianco, TJ Scott.
Did they start on Canada Wonderland doing live shows?
Yes.
And then they put together a demo reel?
They were trying to get their way into ACTRA. And get into stunt performing, but they were the demographics there are still as they are today. You know, they put up barriers. No, we don't want no more competition, whatever. So they came to me and made me an offer. Let's form a company. You're the president. And
Oh, you were the president of the stunt team?
yes, and together we got the experience for high falls and gymnastics and this and that. You got the car experience, and it seems that everybody wants you to coordinate their shows. So we formed a company. That would have been around 85, 86. Not long after The Park Is Mine, with Tommy Lee Jones.
Did you have the office in downtown Toronto right away when you formed the team?
Yeah, no, we rented it after the Church of Scientology. We had an office in that building.
Oh, did Tom Cruise ever come by?
No. No, he didn't. But they were all outside downstairs trying to grab you, because every day they'd ask us, "You want to come in?" Whatever. Because their office, and we paid only $400 a month rent. I'll bet you today that rent is $4,000 a month. I still had my home here in Montreal,
Okay.
but I spent a lot of time in Toronto. We rented a house in Rosedale, or TJ did, one of those big mansions, but only the top floor.
And that's where you would stay when you went to Toronto to work?
Or at the office.
Where was Rosedale in relation
Uh,
to Toronto?
Rosedale was like, it's one of the richy classy.
Oh, so one of the suburbs of Toronto.
Yeah, just not far from downtown, but
And you also had somewhere in the office where you could sleep?
yeah.
Like a bedroom?
We had couches that rolled up. We had a big offices.
What's this here, Formula Ford?
Yeah, that's my school car. Leg of Jim Russell's racing school.
Is that a Tremblant?
This particular, Jim Russell is at Tremblant, but this one was at Lac de Montagne, near La Chute.
And you were teaching there? Or learning?
I wanted to get relicensed.
Oh, and did you race that type of car?
Yeah.
Oh, and what years was that?
Honestly, I don't remember. I just went to 1 or 2 races a year just to get rid of stress.
And what about this car?
That's from the Expatriate, recently, now it's called Erased.
Okay, and what about this one?
Oh, you're talking about this one here was from Death Race.
Oh, that's Death Race.
Yeah,
I thought I recognized. Oh, and this is Erased.
Yes.
That's your pipe roll.
Yes, and this is an interesting picture because I'm doubling Richard Harris, who was playing George Adamson in Africa, in Nairobi.
Oh, cool.
For 3 months, we spent 3 months in the bush at Shaba, the reserve.
Okay, first full burn.
Yeah.
What's the show?
Boucher des Innocents. It was Butcher of Innocence.
And is this the same show here? This one?
No, this is actually a commercial for Arctic Gardens Frozen Foods. And I'm up at a weather station, and this great big Sasquatch puts his hand through the window because he wants my vegetables.
Okay.
And I go out on a jerk cable. Well, the most memorable one I actually did with you on the Sum of All Fears. Memorable in one thing because I changed my insurance, I think a week before. We did that presidential motorcade stunt where you were in the limousine and I was in the last Secret Service Suburban.
Where you went right across the highway.
Yeah.
How many rolls?
I think
7?
Even more. I think some say 9, some say 7. But anyways, I went by my instincts. We were told to actually turn right, and I had to go with my gut feeling. So I went. He wanted me to go in the middle. I look in the middle, and that's where the car goes, where you look.
So what were some of your other highlights of your career, different stunts?
I liked working on Simon Birch.
And what were your stunts on that?
I drove the bus. I played the bus driver, the coward bus driver. And
so that was also a highlight in that you were a stunt actor.
Yeah, I played the bus driver because it was much easier to have a guy who could do a few words of dialogue than have a double for the bus driver. And I lucked out on that show because I did basically everything that you see in that film with the bus, except I ended up not having to drive it in the late. The director called back, the director on second unit, and said, "You get a double for Rigby, we're keeping him here."
Who ended up doing it into the late?
Brian Renfrew.
What was your favorite film of your career and why?
I have a couple of them. One was To Walk with Lions. Because I had the opportunity to work with Richard Harris, the late Richard Harris, for 3 months in an isolated area in Kenya at Shaba,
Wow.
which is a reserve, and you're not allowed out of reserve once you finish working. But working in an isolated area like that, it becomes much more of a personal friendship rather than a working friendship.
What kind of stunts were you doing?
Most of it was bullet hits and killing poachers and obviously George Adamson, who Richard was playing, his assassination.
Was this a true story?
Yes, yeah. George Adamson and Joy Adamson. Joy Adamson. She was killed in Tanzania, assassinated, because they found out that the Kenyan government was poaching elephants and hoarding the ivory and shipping them. And he found out and he threatened to stop it, and that's why they assassinated him.
What were some of the other films you worked on out of Canada?
Treasure Island in Isle of Man
Oh, great.
with Jack Palance. He played Long John Silver. It was kind of like supposed to be a Home Alone 2 version of it. So that was sword fighting and falling off boats and cliffs and
What year would that have been? 80s?
1997.
Oh, 97.
Yeah.
And the one in Africa, how long ago was that?
It was like 2 months later.
Did you ever do any film in United States?
Commercials I did in Atlanta, the Atlanta Speedway. And I did part of Simon Birch in LA. We had to go there to do the interior of the bus with the kids in the Olympic pool there on a gimbal.
Yeah, it's rare that a Canadian that doesn't have an American passport can work at all. So it's fun to have an opportunity, even if you get a day in the US.
Yeah, I was treated almost. I'm telling you, I was treated better than I do on any Canadian film when I was in LA.
Oh,
I
great.
had my own chauffeur, I had my own chair with my name on it, and I was booked at the Universal Hilton.
Did you keep the back of the chair?
I lost it.
Oh, no. How about injuries? What injuries have you sustained in your career?
2 compressed backs twice.
From car jumps?
Yeah.
What films were those on?
One was in my career on a racetrack in Panama City, Florida.
For one of the live shows?
Yeah. And the second one was on Les Dangereux, a French film, where I had to jump a van from Oka, the pier, to the ferry that was like 30 feet out in the water. And when I hit the deck of the ferry boat, the whole underside of the van and the 4 wheels collapsed. And I still was in a pedestal seat, if anybody remembers the seats on those vans.
Yeah.
And again, that was one where the original stunt driver had a headache, and he couldn't do it.
Did you ever have a back operation?
No.
How's the back doing now?
Great. Jarrett brace I had. But I worked out for 15 years at the Y because I was a volunteer physical fitness instructor. And so that helped me tremendously, having good strong abs and good strong back.
How about knees, ankles, shoulders,
No.
concussions?
No.
Oh, so especially for all the car stuff, you survived pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, actually I consider myself very lucky, very grateful. I want to be the oldest guy to do a exploding pipe roll.
Like you did back in the live shows.
Yes, like I did on the class of '84, and like I did in Key Largo on that picture we have.
How many car jumps, rough figure, do you think you've done in your whole life between live shows, films, everything?
Well, let's put pipe rolls and jumps together. Probably.
Because the jobs are, there's a lot.
It sounds like a lot. I mean, it sounds like you've done a lot because it's a lot, many years, but maybe 50.
Who are some of the actors you doubled?
Anthony Hopkins.
What was that on?
Ed Harris. Human Stain.
Okay. Ed Harris in Africa.
No, Ed Harris.
Oh no, Ed Harris. Okay.
Ed Harris on the Human Stain. I actually doubled him. Anthony Hopkins, I doubled. I just drove the car for him one day. But I am a good double for Anthony Hopkins.
What was your most lucrative film that you made the most money on?
The Sum of All Fears with you.
That was the best day and the best film overall?
Well, it was the best paid film. Like,
And your extra credit, did you get that on gas?
oh yes.
Did you need 6 credits then to get in?
No, I got in on professional level.
Oh right, we had that documentary they're doing on your life right now. How did they approach you on that? How did they find you?
I did a small film for a CPIP film called The Fantastic Bus. And the production manager is also a producer. And he got to know me through the with 3 weeks we shot that film because nobody else wanted to drive that big ass bus.
Was that recently?
Yeah, like last year.
Okay.
And but I enjoy doing things for people and being noticed, and people know you're still alive and kicking. And I believe when you do something for somebody, it comes back to you. So I was happy to do it. And then a year later, he calls me and he says, I want to do a docudrama on your life, from almost what everything we've talked about today, except a few very personal things that aren't going on today but happened then, where today I help a lot of young kids and young adults overcome serious drug and alcohol problems.
So you basically want it.
Because the 80s could kill a lot of people, and it did.
And this is real life we're talking about.
This is real life. And we're going to recreate those scenes. We're not just going to talk about them, we're going to recreate some of the stunts I did, go to some of the racetracks I did, and go to and hire actors to play me as a kid and growing up, and my family and my parents, and recreate that scenario of a dysfunctional home and fighting and alcoholism. Because we're hoping this film also highlights what changes we need to do and teach parents or teach school kids what the real problems are.
So is the documentary more about your life or more about kids with these problems?
No, it's about my life. But
this is part of it, because it was part of your life.
Because I had the problem. And I had to learn how to, no, I took it seriously, and I went to rehab, and I changed my life 180 degrees all the way around. And found that what the real problems were had nothing to, the real core issues of people who have problems like that has nothing to do with the alcohol or drugs. They only use that to push away the emotional pain that they can't stand or understand, or why it happened to them. And I learned why and how and what happened and why my character is the way it is today, and why my character was the way it was then.
So who brought you to this realization? Who helped you out? Or what organization?
It wasn't an organization, it was a piece of cheese.
A piece of cheese?
A piece of cheese.
How's that?
Anybody who has used cocaine, okay, in the 80s, and they know when you run out, you swear to God you've hit it, and you start looking for it. And this one night on January the 2nd, 1992, this actually happened to me, and somebody had given me a block of cheddar cheese for that they received at one of those boiler room places, and I had it on my table for a couple of weeks before Christmas, and just letting it sit there. And I guess a few things fell off, and I thought I had found a rock.
A rock of cocaine?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And I put it on a pipe to light it, and it melted, and it was cheese that had fallen off. I got up, I looked in the mirror, I weighed 118 pounds.
What do you weigh now?
166. And I said, I am worth more than this telling me how to run my life. And the next day I was in a rehab, and I had never used since.
Where did you go for rehab?
Addington House in Montreal.
Sorry?
Addington House. Actually, when I first started getting the idea that I wanted to crash cars I was probably 16 or 17 years old. They had a big show. It was the Hot Wheels Daredevils or whatever.
Was that in Montreal?
Yeah.
Did you travel at all with the show?
Just in the province.
Oh, how many of those shows do you think you did?
Oh, I don't know. Most of the time I was schlepping and stripping cars, but...
Did you get to compete, like do the jumps and stuff?
No, I just did the T-bone crash.
Oh, so you did participate in the show, plus you helped?
Yeah,
oh, that's pretty exciting at that age.
I wanted more attention, so I wanted to do something, so I did the T-bone crash. I used to live in Delson, which is out in the South Shore, and there was a big rock quarry there. And when I was even 15, 14 years old, I was the only guy in the village that when all the kids went down there with their pedal bikes, and that I was going off hills of rock, of like crushed stone in the quarry.
On your bike?
on
Your
my
pedal
bike. And I had a tendency, I just instinctively knew how to keep it balanced. And I remember this guy, Ted Livingston, who now lives in Vancouver, who tried it, and he went head over heels and broke his arm. And like,
Did you think of wearing helmets or pads then?
Not at all, nothing.
Hi there, my name's Dave McKeown. I've been a stunt performer and stunt coordinator for several years here. I was born in San Francisco, 1958, and moved to Montreal when I was a little 2-year-old. And took over the apartment that Mr. Jimmy Dunn used to live in. Over
Duplex.
Duplex in, excuse me. Moved into the duplex that Jimmy Dunn used to live in when he was a little boy.
I was moving out, Dave moved in.
I lived in Wilson for, I think it was about 4 years, and then moved to another place in Westmount, near Westmount in NDG.
What street?
It was Marlow. We had 2 homes on Marlow Street, one at the lower part of Marlow and one at the upper part of Marlow.
Did you live there right into the 70s?
No.
What was the street where I used to pick you up to go skiing? Like mid-70s?
Mid-70s, that was in Montreal West. We moved to the Boulevard and lived there up until I sort of was about 19 years old. Well, my parents lived there. I moved out when I was 18 years old, had my own apartment with Bruce Yves, who was one of the my buddies that I used to compete with in skiing.
Oh, I forgot you lived with him. Where was that?
Our first apartment was on the corner of Northcliffe and Sherbrooke Street.
Oh, right down the street from Todd.
Exactly.
Did you see Todd much then?
Every once in a while. I went to my first freestyle competition when I was 16. It was at Moeco, and it was run by Michel Degg and John Eves. I ended up winning a sort of a stay at the camp for 2 weeks. They had a summer camp that ramps going into the water.
You won that from the Echo contest?
From the Echo contest.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then I was a camper for the first event, first session, and then they kept me over as a counselor for the second session. So I basically spent my summer there.
That camp was great.
It was fantastic.
And did you compete in the 1974 and 75 Belneige Raymond Langto 3-event freestyle contest?
Yes, I did. And
Remember getting your ski stuck in your helmet?
I
and
remember
crashing?
it very well, and having stitches all into the back of my head, and I remember that. Actually, there's an old film with that, the shot of that in it.
Yeah, I have it.
What's his name?
Walter Strickland's Ski Hut.
Exactly. Started in 77 in World Cup and went up until 1983.
83. How many contests do you think you went in during that time? Like maybe
Almost
10?
all of the ones that were available to go in.
About 10 a year maybe?
At least about 8 to 10 per year. And it started off as a pro series down that we did a fair amount of them down in the States and Europe, and then my last main competition was in Australia.
Do you remember which mountain?
Threadbow.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
Threadbow or Buller, I can't remember.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
And unfortunately, that's where I broke my neck. And
What was your jump? Do you remember?
lay tuck full.
Lay, tuck, full. So a single twisting triple.
Single twisting triple.
And you were one of the first 5 guys in the world doing triples, do you think?
I wouldn't say first 5. I'd say with 10 or 15. There was a couple of guys down in the States that were doing
Okay.
it.
And you were the first captain of the first ever national freestyle
That
team.
I was. And
What year
in
was that?
1982.
Ah.
I sort of drifted off after 82. Did some shows in Sweden, and that's...
Oh, I forgot about the show circuit.
Yeah, no, we basically our off season we did either indoor shows, or we did the one year I went off to Sweden and spent the winter there, and that's where I was introduced to speed skiing. So
Did you follow a whole year of speed skiing?
yes, I did that. So that would have been 84. I was doing the shows in Europe, and then 85 I did the complete circuit. In 1979, I was over in Europe competing, on the world circuit, and a good friend of mine, John Yves, ended up getting the job to do all the skiing for Roger Moore on For Your Eyes Only. So I ended up traveling with him to Cortina and just sort of hang out, because there was the World Bobsledding Championships, and I ended up helping out a little bit. A friend of mine was there, so I went to go watch him.
That's Italy, right? Cortina?
Yes, it's in Cortina, Italy. So I spent quite a while there, and then unfortunately there was a bunch of stunt guys that got hurt. And John...
In the bobsled?
What's that?
Was that the bobsled off the track?
No, doing some motorcycle stuff. It was part of Remy Julien's gang of guys.
Oh, I remember. That was a wild chase. Like motorcycles chasing Bond down the hill.
Exactly. So somebody got hurt, and John sort of introduced me to Remy Julien, and he said, sure, we'll have him as a stunt guy. And the first stunt I did was I was walking down a hill as a mountaineer, and John skiing down as Bond and nails me in the back about 14 times. And
14 takes of the same shot?
Same shot. And
He send you flying off your feet?
oh yeah. Oh, he took great pleasure of smacking me. So that was my introduction into the stunt world.
Any other stunts on that film?
I was sitting at a table that the skier jumps over and goes across the table, and a few little miscellaneous stunts. Not just little physical falling down type of
And
thing.
Roger Moore was the Bond then, right?
Roger Moore was
Dressed in the white ski suit, head to toe?
Exactly. So he did all the bobsled stuff and so on and so forth. The year after the Bond film, both John and myself were doing shows in Place Bonaventure here in Montreal.
I remember that, like when he was... Were you both dressed in the zebra suit? Or was that John's?
John was in the zebra suit.
What were you wearing?
I think I had a red Bogner suit.
Oh, I found those shows so exciting. I'd wish that my bones hadn't been broken and I could do what you guys could do. Off the ramps.
So anyways, we were at the show there, and they mentioned that we finished the year before that. We were working on the Bond film and part of their PR, blah, blah. And it just happened that there was a stunt family in the audience that were the Fourniers, the Fournier family, and they were asked, came over and started talking with me, and they were wondering about the airbag that we used for the show, if I would be able to come over and help them learn a little bit about jumping into airbags and stuff like that. So,
Do you remember which Fourniers it was?
It was Céline and Marcel.
Who are brother and sister.
I believe they're brother and sister.
Mm-hmm.
So they're really the ones that kept me going into the business, because I went over to their place and they were practicing some of their car stunts, and I helped them out a little bit with the airbag. And then,
So when you said went over to their place, was that the grandfather's junkyard in Drummondville or the father's
it was in
place?
Where was
South
it?
Shore?
South
Longueuil?
Shore on Longueuil.
So that's Marcel's place.
Marcel's place.
And that wasn't a junkyard, right? That was like mechanic shop or something? Garage?
Very hard to say, but I remember there was a lot of scrap cars in the
Oh,
back.
so Eve told me about that anyway. I've got the details on that.
Okay.
After the Bond film, had you thought of pursuing stunts before the Fourniers approached you?
No, I really didn't think about doing stunts, because I was right in the middle of my ski career, so stunts was sort of secondary in my mind. It was a lot of fun.
Plus, there was really very little work in Canada.
There was very little, and especially being an Anglophone here in Quebec, the majority of the films that were happening here were Francophone films, and I really didn't understand anything that anybody was saying back then. So, but I got to know Céline pretty well, and she knew all the casting agents, and she would introduce me to various people, and in essence, just get little jobs here and there. And
So did you ever take the airbag out and they jumped into it?
yes,
And that's what you did at Marcel's place?
at Marcel's place. I think I did it once or twice.
Did you jump into it with them?
Well, I was showing them how to do it and how to fall in it and how not to
And like
hurt
the different
themselves
ways to
and-
fall?
Exactly.
Oh, how high were you going?
Oh, it was really The highest I went into it was about 45 feet.
Well, that's pretty good. That was a small airbag, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was very small.
Where did the
Not
airbag-
made for it.
Where did the airbag come from?
I had it made to do the ski shows.
Oh, so how did you know where to go to get it made?
I got it made at a awning making company and just made sketches of an airbag. And
So you had no idea, just I need something with air in it to land in?
well, I knew I wanted to build something with cells so it would stay stiff. The whole idea was to have it stiff for landing on it with skis.
How did you know about the cells to let the air out and everything?
Well, at the very beginning, we didn't have cells, and just landing on it with the skis, we blew out all the stitching, and then we thought of just opening
Oh, that's
up
how you
cells.
learned about cells.
And we ended up
Oh,
just having, where it blew out, we ended up putting a zipper right where the material blew out.
Oh, that's interesting.
So
Do you remember
that's-
what it cost?
It was a couple of $1,000.
So that's a big expense
It was a
then.
huge expense, but before with the ski shows, we used to use bed mattresses to land in, like a whole bunch of stinky
Oh,
old
right.
bed mattresses. with
So
a
what year was
carpet.
this that you made the airbag?
Oh, that had to be late 70s, early 80s.
Actually, I'll know it looking at my photos at home. I have some
Well,
black
it
and
had
white
to
photos.
be. It had to be 79, I think.
I remember I did some modeling at one of those shows.
Oh, no kidding.
With Bill Madigan's sister and
Oh,
a few other
really?
people. And I remember Dan Dorio, Rocky. and,
Yeah.
You know, we all went annually to the Place Bonaventure show, and it was so exciting. Start of
Wow.
ski season.
We loved it. We traveled quite a bit, actually, Quebec City and.
Oh, you went to all the ski shows in the other cities too?
All the eastern ski shows. We did Toronto, Quebec City,
Oh, I forgot about that.
Montreal. Did I think 4 of them because it was just the ski shows were just before we would head over to France for training, pre-season training.
So then back to the Fournier. So you had a few sessions back and forth teaching them how to jump into the airbags and so
Yeah.
forth.
And then basically what happened is they had a few little jobs that I ended up working on a few UDA shows with them, and then
UDA is Union des
Union
Artistes,
des
the
Artistes,
French
which is
union
the French
here.
union. So I did a few little shows with them, and then
What kind of stunts?
I fell down some stairs once and fell off of a balcony. And then Céline introduced me to one of the casting agents who was having a stunt audition with a gentleman by the name of Jerry Wills from LA. He's I think second or maybe even third generation LA stunt guy who was basically meeting people in an office and just basically said, there's a certain stunt that I'm thinking that would be good for you, and I actually told him I wasn't sure I was able to do it, and then he basically hired me full-time on the show.
What show?
It was Meatballs 3.
Oh, that was Don Carmody where he made a ton of money,
I believe
right?
it was Don Carmody.
The producer.
And so anyways, I did several characters on that and got my ACTRA union card.
You played your own character as a stunt actor?
No, I was a whole bunch of different people, doubling a whole bunch of different people. So,
What kind of stunts?
I did a high fall, did pushing in the crowd, running away from a bull.
And that was Meatballs 1 or 2?
That was Meatballs 3.
Oh, 3. How many were there?
I have no idea. And that was actually when my sister got into the business, because we had an import-export company and she was upset that I was off having fun working on film. So she ended up getting some stunt work on that, where her career was for
Oh,
about
so
3
she got
years.
in quite early.
Yeah.
What year did you say that was?
84, 85?
So about the same time I got in. And John Dunning was the other producer, right?
that's
He
correct.
actually lives right by Dorval High
Oh,
School.
no kidding.
And he had the son that died that was really tragic, hit him
Oh,
hard.
really?
He was also the producer on Snake Eater 3.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I remember, have you ever been in his office with all the little knickknacks?
No, I haven't.
Oh, all like little cars and things, like thousands of
Oh,
them. It's
wow.
really interesting. It's always been like that.
That's very cool.
Oh, so Meatballs 3,
Yeah. and
Jerry
then,
Wills, and who else worked on it from Montreal?
The only other person that I really knew and got to know then was Peter Cox.
And so Jerome, Dave Rigby weren't working on it?
I can't remember exactly. All I know is Rick Parker was the wrangler, and Cotton Mather was an actor.
And Rick's still a wrangler. I saw him in the credits last week and
Both
something.
him and his wife are still.
And who was the other person you just mentioned?
Cotton Mather.
Oh, and Cotton
He
goes
was
back.
acting though.
Oh, that's interesting. And had Stéphane Lefebvre, Marc Desordi, any of those
They
guys
haven't
started?
started in the business yet.
So a couple years after that, because they were around, I think, by the time you gave me the reference to Peter Cox and Wild Thing, which was September '86.
Right.
So,
So I did probably a dozen or more shows.
so it just
until about
rattle
86.
off what some of the shows were in the next couple of years, and who coordinated them, if you remember who worked on them. Like Iron Eagle 2 with Terry Leonard in Israel.
Well,
what year was that?
Terry Leonard. We all went. There were 6 of us that went to Israel to work for Terry Leonard, and Peter Cox was sort of the liaison to the Canadian stunt people. And
How did Peter know Terry?
he met him on a show that he was doing in Toronto, which I think was the same show that Dave Rigby worked for Terry on.
Police Academy, maybe?
No, I don't think Terry did a police academy.
And so is Peter Cox from Toronto?
Peter's from Toronto.
So did he move out here around 85, 86 to Montreal?
Around 85, 86, and then he eventually moved out to Vancouver. He's in Vancouver now.
Yeah, which was
Or Squamish. Or
probably in the 90s or something, late
Exactly.
90s.
Exactly.
I rarely ever see him. Every few years he
I
pops
think
out
he
to work in a
spends a lot
show.
of time down in LA also.
Does he work in LA still?
Well, his girlfriend's from LA, or his wife. I
Oh,
should
so
say.
does he work very often?
I haven't
He never
spoken
did. He'd
to
work,
him.
get some money, and wouldn't work till the money was spent, then he'd come back.
I haven't heard from him in years.
Oh, so he was one of the earlier guys, kind of after, maybe same time as you, or
Yeah.
somewhere around there, but a little after Jerome and Rigby and the Fourniers, and
Well, Rigby and I started the same year. We
on
both
gas.
got our first.
Oh yeah, because
first
he did gas, and
he did gas, and
you
I was
did-
doing For Your Eyes Only. We ended off in Israel with Terry Leonard. There were 6 of us, 2 from Montreal, 2 from Toronto, 2 from Vancouver. And it was great because there was 6 of us that basically did all the stunts on that show. And there was explosions, high falls, car wrecks, car rolls. Sort of a young stuntman's dream.
So that was you, Mike Shear, JJ, Tony Morelli, Peter Cox.
And Jamie Jones. That was the first time I met Terry, and I was very fortunate to have worked with him once for a second time on Teenage Ninja Turtles down in the States.
That was in near Portland, Oregon, right?
Right near Portland, Oregon, and there was a lot of horse stuff for me to do on that, which was a lot of fun.
And then was that previous to '86?
I have no idea.
Because I remember visiting you. Remember, I came by on my way
Exactly, yeah,
windsurfing.
it's when you went windsurfing. So that was great, and then I had the pleasure to work for Terry again quite a few years after on Sum of All Fears, which was great because I learned so much from him. I was the Canadian match for him. He was second unit director and head stunt coordinator. And it was probably the most knowledgeable time I've ever spent to further my career as a stunt coordinator. And I actually 2 years ago had the pleasure of hiring him as a stunt performer. He was driving an old 1950s pickup truck down the road, and it was sort of one of my lifelong dreams is to actually hire him as a performer. And I could say I can quit right now knowing that I succeeded.
You never joined any of the Montreal groups that came and went, right?
No, I didn't join any of the stunt groups for a couple of reasons. I started looking into it at one point in time, but I found that with the stunt groups that always come around, and there's always animosity amongst the stunt coordinators because, let's face it, we all have a little bit of an ego. And it never really ended up very well. And I didn't really see any benefit because I find if you have a group, then you're limited to the amount of people that are in your group because you want to hire them. And I'd much rather be able to pick and choose the various stunt performers from different groups, and that way you know you got the best. Sister Jennifer, she did quite a few stunt jobs at the very beginning, early.
I don't remember any other,
80s.
besides the Fourniers, she's the first stunt girl I remember, was she?
She was pretty well one of the first, and then Robin McNichol.
Oh, I remember her.
When I was working on, it was Meatballs, I had the chance to meet Diamond Farnsworth, really good, great stunt guy from LA, and that was the year before he ended up, I believe, going to double Sylvester Stallone.
His father was Richard Farnsworth.
His father was Richard Farnsworth, who I was very fortunate to meet a few years later while working for Minor Mustang. I think it was Red Earth, White Earth. Been very fortunate over the years to keep working as a stunt coordinator, and every once in a while they throw the old guy out to do a old man crossing the street or something. So it's been an excellent little trip through Stuntland.
So 33 years now.
It's 33
Going
years.
into 2014.
33 years, and hopefully I have a few more left.
All right.
I just remembered the movie that
Richard
Richard
Farnsworth.
Farnsworth was starring in. It was called The Gray Fox, and it was, I believe, in 1982.
Believe, you know it is. We just looked it up.
I know, but I'm trying to look smart.
What's up?
Signing out.
Peace.